What's up, y'all? Welcome to another weekend here on the Go at CeeLo, and a NASCAR returns to the Martinsville, Virginia. Now, all three series will end their round of 8 at the Martinsville Speedway this weekend. Looking forward to a great weekend with you guys. Yes, this is the last race before next week in Phoenix, where we will crown a champion in all three series. On Friday night, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series will run their last race of the round of 8, and three drivers will join Corey Heim in the final race at Phoenix next week. Now, also, four drivers will be going home and losing their bid for a championship, and we will get into the point standings here later in the video. Now, they will run the Slim Jim 200, that's 200 laps, 100 miles. Now, there are 35 drivers and teams for 36 spots. Now, some notables in this race: Brent Cruz in that one truck, Butter Bean Queen in that Spire 7. Love that. This is going to be a good one. Casey Mears doing double duty this weekend with a surpasses 600 start this weekend. Great job for him. Now, Daniel Hemrick won here in the spring, so could he do it again and advance to the championship four? We will see. Should be a great race. Now, on Saturday night, the NASCAR Xfinity Series will make their final race of the round of 8. The IAA Ritchie Bros 250, that's 250 laps, 131 miles. Now, 39 drivers and teams on their entry list for the IAA Ritchie Bros 250. But one car will miss the race, so we'll see who that'll be. Now, some of the notables in this race are Corey Day in the 17, HendricksCars.com, Eric Almirola in that 19 Joe Gibbs Toyota fighting for an owner's championship, Josh Williams back in that 45, Butterbean Queen doing double duty this weekend in that 11 Colleague, and also in the Spire truck for Craftsman Truck Series. Now, Connor Mozak, he's back in the 99 again after replacing Matty D as he was ousted from Vikings Motorsports. Now, this weekend is the 45th running of a NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Martinsville. Eric Almirola swept the Martinsville races in 2024. He's the only repeat winner at the Martinsville Speedway in the last 16 races. Now, Sheldon Creed has 3 runner-up finishes at Martinsville, trailing only Dale Jarrett and Larry Pearson with 4. Now, last week's winner, Austin Hill, won here in the spring as well. Could he do back-to-back wins with a Talladega win and a short track win? Should be interesting to see how he does, considering how much bad luck he had throughout the year with the suspension and everything to close the season out on a high. Now, Connor Zilich and Justin Allgaier are both locked into the championship for next week at Phoenix. Now, Jesse Love needs to score 28 points to clinch a championship force and spot on points. But we'll go over the full point standings later in this video. Should be an interesting race. 4 drivers are going to go home after this week. Who will it be? And we'll see who runs for a championship along with Connor Zilich and Justin Allgaier next week at Phoenix. All right, on Sunday, the NASCAR Cup Series will run their last race of the round of 8. The Xfinity 500, that's 500 laps, 253 miles, 37 teams and drivers for 40 spots, other than the 2311 cars and the front row motorsports cars. Casey Mears will be the only open car in that 66, as he is going, again, like I said, for his 600th start this weekend here at Martinsville. Now, William Byron and Ryan Blaney both have won 4 of the 7 next-gen races at Martinsville. 7 of the 8 playoff drivers have won here at Martinsville except Chase Briscoe, but he doesn't have to worry about that because he is in the championship 4 as he secured his win at Talladega last week and joining Denny Hamlin, his partner over there at Joe Gibbs Racing. Now, Ryan Blaney won the last 2 cutoff races here at Martinsville, so he has something to do for that as to transfer to the championship 4. Joey Logano has finished top 10 in the last 12 Martinsville races, and Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson each have finished in the top 5 in the last 3 Martinsville races. Now, Joe Gibbs Racing, 13 wins in 2025, are the team's 3rd most of all time in a season. Now, Christopher Bell would clinch with 20 points here. If there was a first-time winner, Kyle Larson would clinch with 21 points if there was a non-playoff winner to win this thing. But both of those guys could clinch one spot if one of the playoff drivers does win. But there's lots of 6 drivers left that need help to get in, but those 2 could get in on points. So Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell, if there was a winner not in the championship 8, or one of those guys could get in on points as well. Who will get in? We don't know, but we will see on Sunday. But we'll get into the point standings later on in this video as well. All right, so you know all about the races. Now you just need to know about the paint schemes. And we're going to go over the paint schemes for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series. All the ones that are allowed to us to have on NASCAR.com. All right, so when I come back, I will give you my favorite paint schemes of the week. We'll go over all 3 series in the playoff standings and where the point standings are as of right now. We'll also go over early betting odds for the races this weekend for wins, and I'll give you my picks for the win. So here are the paint schemes, and let's go. hope you enjoy those paint schemes like we do every week we have done this year. We've run every week. We've given you a paint scheme and a race weekend preview, and that's what we do every Friday here on our channel. Every Friday, we release a paint scheme and race weekend preview to get you ready for the weekends with us. So make sure your notification bells are on when we drop those vlogs. And if you're a member, you have early access to those as well. So become a member today. Have early access on any vlog we do here on our channel. All right, so here are my favorite NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series paint schemes. We're going to start with the Mobil 1 Brent Cruz in that Mobil 1 Toyota. You know I love the Mobil 1 paint schemes. Tony Brenninger in that 5 Telerex Toyota. I like that way that looks. And then Butterbean Queen in that 7 Gainsbridge Chevrolet in there for Spire Motorsports. He's also moving up to the truck races next year. So um, he's going to drive a Ram truck. So interesting for Butterbean Queen. He will be moving up into the trucks. Craftsman Truck Series. We'll go to see him next year full time in here. Corey Heim running away with it in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We'll see what he can do here on Friday night. And maybe win a hoist a championship with so many wins he has this year. But there's Safe Light Toyota, that red and white. I like that. Now, Casey Mears in that 69 pit stop diecast Ford, 600 starts. What an accomplishment for Casey Mears. Now, here's Raj Caruth in the 71 HendricksCars.com. News that for out of NASCAR as well that he will be part-time in that 88 Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports. The 88 and the 9 will have part-time drivers for their cars this year. And also the 1 Carson Quaffle. I mean, lots of news at Junior Motorsports coming out of there with different drivers and stuff. So we'll see how it looks. Now, NASCAR Xfinity Series, here are my favorite paint schemes. Matt Snyder in that 91 Sour Boys Chevrolet. Lots of cool paint schemes this week for the Xfinity Series. Ryan Ellis in that 71 Southern Elevator Chevrolet. Look, it's got an elevator on the car. That's pretty cool. Jeremy Commence with a Spartan Waste Toxics Waste Fox Sports 98.3 on your dial Chevrolet. I like that one. Look there. And Josh Williams in that 45 call 811.com Chevrolet. Now here's Dean Thompson in that Pipe Group Chevrolet. Love the red, white, and blue. You know I love the red, white, and blue paint schemes. Now here is my NASCAR Cup Series paint scheme that I like. Carson Hocevar in that 77 Motto Casino Chevrolet. Once again, red, white, and blue. Love it. Cody Ware in that 51 Rexzilla and Kick.com Ford. Love the red and all those colors there. And Todd Gilliland, love the 34 Grillo's Pickle Ford. I need to get me a Grillo's Pickle shirt. Willie B in that Cincy Chevy. Love the red, white, and blue. I didn't really understand what the Cincinnati was until one of our viewers told me it's one of their top backers for Hendricks Motorsports. Now, Denny Hamlin and 11 Hawaiian Rolls Toyota. Saying it now, book it now. 31st place finish for Denny Hamlin. Write it down right now. He could surprise me, but I've seen enough of the Hawaiian Rolls on his car. Enough said. Justin Haley in that 7 Nations Guard car for Spire Chevrolet. But these will be his last 2 rides in this car. As they announced yesterday, Daniel Suarez will be taking over full-time in this 7 Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports. Now, Ross Chastain in that number 1 Moose Fraternity Chevrolet. Last time he was in this paint scheme at Martinsville, we all remember the Hail Melon. And there won't be no Hail Melon this year unless he tries to win it, but he will be disqualified because they got rid of the Hail Melon, but he is out of the playoffs. Playoffs? All right, so which one are your favorite paint schemes? Make sure you comment in the comments below. It's now time to go over the playoff standings, point standings for each division. We're going to start with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And this is the last race to get into the championship 4. Corey Heim is already in. Let's take a look at the point standings. Corey Heim there in the lead. Then Raj Caruth with a 14-point lead. Tyler Ankrum with a +8. And Caden Honeycutt with a +5. You got Ty Majeski at -5. Lane Riggs at -6. Daniel Hemrick at -32. And Grant Enfinger -40. So there are your point standings, playoff standings. I have my championship four was Corey Heim, Lane Riggs, Ty Majeski, and Caden Honeycutt. So far, I got two of them as if it stands today, but we'll see if I can get all four right at the end of the year. So we'll see what it looks like next week at Phoenix. Here is the NASCAR Xfinity Series playoff standings, point standings, or going into the last race of the round of 8. Let's take a look at these. Connor Zilic and Justin Allgaier have both clinched, and they are both in the championship four. Jesse Love is at plus 40. We mentioned earlier that he just needs 20 some points to clinch, but we'll see if he can do that. Carson Quaffle is at plus 11. And then you got Sammy Smith at minus 11, Brandon Jones at minus 20, Sam Mayer at minus 22, and Sheldon Creed at minus 41. Wouldn't that be something if Sheldon Creed could pull off a win here at Martinsville and get into the championship four? It would be something. But Connor Zilic, Allgaier waiting on the next two. Like I said, Jesse Love can clinch, but everybody else needs some help. We'll see what happens next week in Phoenix. And last but not least, the NASCAR Cup Series point standings, playoff standings. As last week, Chase Briscoe marked his notch. Denny Hamlin the week before in Las Vegas marked his notch in the championship four. But let's take a look at the rest of the drivers. Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson both need 20 some points to clinch. But Willie Byron and Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, and Chase Elliott are looking outside in. But Willie B at minus 36, Joey Logano at minus 38. Ryan Blaney so good here in Martinsville, so we'll see what happens. Minus 47, and Chase Elliott minus 62. All these guys are gonna have to need a win here at Martinsville to get in. But Christopher Bell and Larson are in on points if they get enough. We'll see how it goes with Xfinity 500 from Martinsville. Looking forward to next week for the championship four at Phoenix. All right, now it's time for my picks for the weekend. But first, we'll go over the early betting odds here for the Slim Jim 200 to win, and let's take a look at some of those. Corey Heim is at plus 120, Lane Riggs at plus 260, Ty Majeski at plus 500, and then it kind of falls off from there. Daniel Hemrick, who won last spring, 1,200, Infinger at plus 1,400, Chandler Smith at plus 1,600, Ankrum at plus 1,800, and Caden Honeycutt at plus 2,000. Raj Caruth down there at plus 4,000. Gio, who won last week, at plus 4,000 as well. So there are your betting odds for the Slim Jim 200. And now let's give you my picks. Pretty simple here. I think Corey Heim will dominate this race. He'll probably be on the pole as well. I'm going to take Corey Heim for the win. And then for my dark horse, I want to see Raj Caruth. I know it'll mess up my spots there, but I want to see Raj Caruth plus 4,000. Big news out of this weekend is he's getting a little promotion in the Xfinity Series next year. So I'm taking Raj Caruth for my dark horse pick. Raj. Here is the early betting odds for the IAA Ritchie Bros 250 here in Martinsville, and we'll take a look at some of the betting odds right now. It is Justin Allgaier at plus 275, Connor Zilic at plus 275, Eric Almirola at plus 400, Sammy Smith at plus 750. You got Sam Mayer at plus 1,000, Sheldon Creed at plus 1,500, Taylor Gray at plus 1,600, Brandon Jones at plus 1,600, Austin Hill at 1,800, who won here, and Carson Quaffle at plus 22,000, and Jesse Love at 2,200. Some other notables: Christian Eckes, who won here last year in the trucks, he's plus 5,500. Butterbean Queen at plus 7,000. Harrison Burton at plus 10,000, and he's on his way out of AM Racing. So there is that. Now it's time for me to do my picks. Hard not to beat Eric Almirola again. He's going for that owner's championship. He's won. He swept the races last year. I'm taking Eric Almirola here for the win. 19 Toyota, uh, and we'll see how that goes. Now, my dark horse, I'm gonna go Jesse Love. Jesse Love with plus 2,200. That's gonna be my dark horse. So my pick is Eric Almirola. My dark horse is Jesse Love for the IAA and Ritchie Bros. 250. All right, here is the early betting odds for the NASCAR Cup Series Xfinity 500, which will be on Sunday. And let's take a look at these early betting odds. And it starts with Ryan Blaney at plus 400, Kyle Larson at plus 500, Denny Hamlin at plus 500, Christopher Bell at plus 650, Chase Elliott at plus 650, Willie Byron at plus 850, Logano at plus 850, and then it falls off. Chase Briscoe at 1,600, Ross Chastain at 2,500, Bubba Wallace at 2,800, Ty Gibbs down there at plus 3,500. Bowman's won here before at plus 4,000. I think that's about Kyle Busch at 5,500 if you wanted to go with that. But there is that for the Xfinity 500. Now, here is my picks to win. And I'm going to take Ryan Blaney. It's kind of hard for him not to win here with his back against the wall. Glad that Denny Hamlin doesn't have to worry about that. But I take Ryan Blaney here. That'll give me 2 of my 4 picks that I picked at the beginning of the playoffs. I also had Larson and I also had Willie B. So we'll see if Larson can get in. I can get at least 3 of the 4, or Willie B, one or the other. But it'd be pretty of a shame for Larson to not be in the championship for his kind of season he's had. I know he's had some down spots too as well, but we'll see how that goes. So there is your early betting odds and my picks to win for the Xfinity 500. And the dark horse pick is going to be Ross Chastain. Give me Ross Chastain. It's not going to be the Hail Melon, but I'm going to take him at plus 2,500. Ross Chastain, I'm taking him for my dark horse. Ryan Blaney for the win. Ross Chastain for the dark horse. Also, who are you going to pick? Make sure you comment in the comments below on the my picks and your dark horses. Love to see those in the comments below too as well. All right, guys. So you know all about the races this week. You know about the paint schemes. You know about the point standings. You know about the betting odds. You know my picks. All you got to need to know is when we're streaming, and we're going to be streaming this weekend for the full thing. So the truck race tonight, we'll be doing that. And then tomorrow we have Xfinity Series practice and a Cup Series practice and qualifying as well. And then the Xfinity Series race at night. Let's see who gets into the championship for. And then on Sunday afternoon, the flag-to-flag coverage of the Xfinity 500 will be covering that as well. We only got a couple more weekends together, guys. And then we'll be off for the winter and back to Daytona next February. So looking forward to the races this weekend. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well. And also, tell me who you're picking, who you use your championship for still alive, who is your favorite paint schemes, all of that. Also, become a member so you have more fun stuff here on our channel. And we'd love for you to be with us forever. So thank you guys for watching this video. Like I said, hit the like, hit the subscribe for all the NASCAR content on this channel. And we'll see you in the streams. It's Martinsville, baby. We got 2 races left. Let's go.